Ну, я думаю, что это было вооруженное восстание за свои права.
Larissa is adamant that the problems in Nalchik started when the police began to target the Muslims.
Могу вам показать. Даже в газете была.
It was even written in the papers that it started on 13th of July 2004. On that day, the police entered the mosque and beat all the Muslims who were there.
В мечеть зашли сотрудники милиции и избили всех мусульман, которые там находились.
The women have a collection of papers documenting the targeting of mosques and the beatings of Muslims, together with complaints sent to authorities who didn't respond. As they saw it, the authorities and the law had failed them. We've just left the women behind and it actually looked like we had a tail. There was a silver car following us, so we went into a side street. The car slowed down but went straight ahead. So we're wondering if we're going to see it again soon, and if we do, we know we've got a tail. We'd been trying to get an interview with the local prosecutor or any other authority in Nalchik, but all had declined. So we were on our way to meet the editor of a pro-Moscow newspaper to see what he would make of the new laws. So we just got to our destination, and as we parked the car, the silver Lada drew past us again. Someone had made it their business to follow us around. That's a picture of your son?
Вот сын это мой. My son.
The newspaper's editor, Ali Kazikanov's son, worked for the security forces in the anti-terrorist department's press office. When the attack on the police station happened, he was filming.
Спокойно, спокойно. Так. Сюда! Давай, Заур, мочи! Говорю.
150 meters from here, my son was killed.
This is footage Ali Kazikanov wanted us to see. His son, Tamerlan, was filming for the last 7 minutes of his life.
And we sat here, not knowing where to go. Then I saw my son's body. Then I came home to tell my wife that our son wouldn't be coming home. No one can guarantee that they won't gather strength again. They should have been rooted out, together with their parents, sisters and brothers. That's my opinion.
And what did he make of Putin's new laws?
Do we think they were concerned about the law? Are they going to wait for a green light to cross the road? What are the laws for? So I think that yes, the law should be passed and should be improved. But at the same time, we just can't rely on the law in our conditions. We can't. The word doesn't work with terrorists. Order for them is their order. They want us to live according to their laws, but we don't want to.
He didn't look kindly on journalists trying to understand the insurgents' motivation.
У нас, скажем, какая-то ранка на руке.
If you have a wound on your hand and you keep scratching it constantly, it might get infected, and you might need an amputation. In the worst case, you might even die from the infection. Putin's achievement is to convince society that wounds shouldn't be scratched. Most of us journalists have understood that and have accepted it.
The local journalist Fatima Tlisova begs to differ. Fatima has won international awards for her fearless reporting from Nalchik. Soon after the October uprising, she received a shocking insight into police practice when an anonymous sender pushed an envelope through her letterbox.
I opened it and there was a CD disc. I put it in the computer and was worried that it was a virus or a spy program. It turned out to be photos and details of those arrested.
We are unable to show most of the photos Fatima received because of their horrific nature.
This person was tortured, as you can see clearly from his jaw that has been torn. If only one side was torn, then it might have been caused by an explosion or a knife. But here, he has identical rips on either side of his mouth, right up to his ears.
Fatima had consulted an expert in Moscow. She was told that some of the wounds weren't from battle at all. In a place like Nalchik, this was dangerous evidence to hold.
There are more shocking photos of people who have been treated and bandaged and then killed in the hospital. That also happened.
It's believed this was the real reason that the general prosecutor didn't want to release the bodies. To Fatima, the problems are not the laws, but the lawlessness of the authorities.
No terrorism can be justified. No noble end can justify terror. But the Russian power structures are conducting total terror against the people of the North Caucasus, and the photos I received testify to that.
On the following day, we met Fatima again. As we discussed the day's filming, the police approached, stopped us, and detained my producer Nick. Fatima, I'm filming the interview with you because Nick is still with the police. You were just saying that you think we should be leaving after this interview. Why is this?
Because there could be repercussions. You have ended up in the net, and there could be some kind of provocation. You could lose all your materials. I hope they won't get physical with you.
Fatima and I raced back to the hotel to get our camera tapes. Nobody had been in Nick's room. The tapes were still there. And on them, the allegations of torture and abuse. Okay, we'll go back to the police station and make sure that Nick is okay. But on arrival at the police station, we were detained too. Fatima still had her phone and reached a Moscow radio station, who went live with our story.
Радио «Эхо Москвы». Сегодня в Нальчике были задержаны английские журналисты и шеф-редактор информационного агентства.
The team from London was obliged to erase part of the material they had filmed in Nalchik.
But we were lucky. We mostly showed them footage of the official celebrations, and after erasing our shots of the police station, they eventually let us go. Late, we managed to get the last flight back to Moscow. Back in the capital, we were finally granted an interview with a Russian official. Gennady Gudkov is a member of the Parliamentary Security Committee in Moscow. Yesterday morning we had an encounter with the authorities. Why do you think this sort of thing happens?
We
must take into account the traditional position of our power ministries and special forces. They're not used to the media and are frightened of the media. They think journalists only dig for negative material, and what they film and investigate isn't objective.
Gudkov concedes that there are problems with the implementation of laws in Russia.
Laws are enforced by people, and that depends on their knowledge, experience of democratic freedom, practice, and their understanding of the historical and social task. We haven't yet learned that the law is for everyone, that it can't be broken and must be the same everywhere. We need time for that concept to develop in the consciousness of the regional and national elite.
As for now, the standoff between some Muslim groups and the authorities in Nalchik continues. Laws restricting the discussion of terrorism will make it harder to find solutions. Designating people extremists stops any form of mutual engagement. But little will change until Russia's authorities learn that they too are not beyond the law.